Don't be surprised if no one cheers for you. Have you ever had an idea and it just made you fully excited? So you would tell your best friend about it, and what happens is that they're not cheering for you, but they're looking at you as though you're an alien. Their reaction leaves you quite disappointed, but you're still excited for your idea. In the end, did you go through with it? Did you work for it? Did you go after it? Or did you drop it at some point? Hello and welcome to Who I Am, your guided meditation podcast. My name is Jackie, and because I am absolutely convinced that so many of our amazing ideas get smashed, not because we're not ready or good enough to get them going, but because we are building on our outside system to support us and to cheer us on, because we think that that's the only way that we can really make things happening. And the truth is, that's oftentimes not the case, because the ideas that we have, and especially if you're one of the first movers gaining ideas that are out of the ordinary, people are scared of what they don't know. And people are scared that if you make this happen, you might even become a different person, a person that they don't know. So they are actually scared of losing what they know. And the truth is also that you don't need their validation to be a rock star. So if you want to begin making things happen from an inside source of power and to be your own cheerleader, then I invite you to take my hand and join me on this beautiful meditation. First off, this is the kind of meditation that you can absolutely do as a walking meditation. You can also listen to it while being in the car driving, as long as you can still focus on the traffic. But you can also just find a comfortable seat as usual. Pick what works for you in this moment. And then let's simply begin by taking 3 cleansing and nourishing breaths in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. Once again, breathe in fully, empty your mind, and exhale out. Let something go. And one last time to really empty our cups. Inhale fully. And exhale completely. Very good. And then as you're clearing your mind more and more, perhaps combining and aligning your breath with your steps and your movement, I'd like you to acknowledge your own feelings, your efforts. If you are listening to this right now, it tells me that you are a person that's driven by creativity. You're probably also a very ambitious person, always trying to find new ways to grow and driven by curiosity to always discover new things that could get you further in life. And that by itself, my friend, is truly something so special. That is something that might even set you apart from all these people that you were kind of hoping are people that would cheer for you. But as they don't have the same mindset like you, they also don't understand that supporting others is what's going to help you become such a greater and better person instead of envying and making other people feel small or like their ideas don't matter. So at this point, allow yourself to simply be proud of how you handled things in the past and how you continue to always give your best. And that is pretty much all that matters without waiting for someone else to notice that or to appreciate that, to celebrate you for the smallest wins, even. And yes, feel free to give yourself a big smile at this point because you absolutely deserve it. Okay, now I promised you we're going to talk about things that are going to help you to become your own cheerleader and to work on our self value. So, right away, as you continue to walk and or breathe, very mindfully and with intention. Practice number one is about setting internal goals. Because by focusing on goals that are meaningful to you instead of goals that mainly exist to impress others, you literally begin to guide your actions led by your values instead of any external opinions. And whether you achieve those set goals then is only going to impact you and not others. And I may also add from my own experience that these kind of goals that you set based on your own values and interests are going to make you so much happier, not just once you've achieved them, but even already on the way there. That's because they're filled up with meaning to you and they nourish. So they basically feed your life's purpose. So, something that you can ask yourself in order to find out whether the goal that you're thinking about fits that category is, what would I pursue if no one else was watching? All right, moving on to number two. And that one is particularly important because it's all about comparing yourself. So remind yourself that everyone is on a different path. In this very moment, it really helps to be extremely honest with yourself. Are you typically looking at other people or people on social media thinking, what can I learn from them? Or are you looking at them, comparing yourself to them and their achievements and where they have already come to? And then you see yourself not being there yet. So, this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying that everyone is on a different path, and what others do or achieve does not define your own value and not your own path either, because it doesn't mean that you're not getting to where you want to go. It simply means that you're at a different point of your journey and you have no idea how long it might have taken them to get where they are now or where they have even started off from. What was their background? So, in order to limit these comparison traps, see if you can shift your mindset to an approach that is coming from your lifelong learner. And what can help you here is to practice gratitude along with it, as it helps to shift from what you lack to what you already have. Oh, and also know that one reason why you might be comparing so closely with other people is because you are pretty harshly critical with yourself. So at this moment, take a deep and calming breath through the nose. Because here comes practice number 3. I bet that the way that you talk to yourself would not be the way that you would talk to a dear, dear friend of yours, would it? When did you last pay attention to your own inner voice and the way you speak to yourself? Because what we often don't realize is that there are so many sneaky negative thoughts buzzing around in our head. And of course, they're not even there to keeping us away from achieving our goals or believing in ourselves. They are really just there to protect ourselves. But here's the thing. You can decide how you talk to yourself. And what's also a matter of a fact is that if you start to speak more positively with yourself every single day, you will become a witness of yourself becoming so much more powerful and shining and glowing. To be honest, this by itself could be your kick-ass tool to becoming your own cheerleader. So by replacing the negative self-talk with compassionate and encouraging words, and this is really something that I want you to practice every single day, and especially in these moments when you feel doubt arising, that is when I want you to step in and become your own advocate. Now, there are 2 different ways to practice this, one of which is a more proactive approach, which is to begin right in the morning after you get out of bed. You step in front of the mirror and you simply pick 3 different sentences that you are going to repeat to yourself in the mirror over and over, which might feel a little weird in the beginning, but it's actually super, super effective. The other one could be to very consciously identify moments when you're being critical with yourself, and then to simply pause, reflect for a second, and rephrase within your head to a more positive and more encouraging self-talk. And one of my favorite examples here, also because it counts for so many of us, is the fact that you think you're not doing enough. So in these moments, maybe it's the end of the day, maybe it's the end of a week, when you look back and you kind of feel bad, or you've got a day off and you could literally spend it with something super nice, something that you haven't done in so long. It's one of your favorite things to do, but you're not allowing yourself because oddly, you feel guilty when you're not being productive. Am I right? Does that count for you? Then one of the first exercises I want you to start implementing is to begin telling yourself that you are enough, that you are doing enough. And heck, maybe start right away. I am doing enough. I am enough. How's that make you feel? I know it's not gonna kick in right away, but trust me, with practice, this is going to become so freaking powerful. Okay, this was practice number 3. Remember to always speak to yourself like you would speak to a friend who you'd be expecting to be your supporter and your cheerleader. With that, we're moving on to practice number 4. We're moving on from words to actions. So practice number 4 is to create rituals that reinforce your own worth. And I've brought a few examples to make this a little bit easier for you. Number 1, you could create a running list. For example, you can write it down in your journal, or you can just put it in your phone, your notes, or any type of application that will sum up compliments or kind words you've received that resonated with you, or challenges you've overcome in the past, or skills that you've developed, maybe moments where you felt proud of yourself, you felt brave, you felt tremendously authentic. Just write it down and keep enough space to keep this list running. And then revisit that list regularly, maybe every evening before you go to bed, especially when self-doubt creeps in. It is proof from your own list that you are capable, resilient, and worthy without needing the constant outside reassurance. So this list is absolute gold, and I really want you to use this list like you're going to the ATM to get money. You're going to go back to that list to continuously pull out self-beliefs that are going to reinforce you in a positive way whenever you need it. Number two could be as simple as starting your day to take time for a walk without your phone to simply reconnect with yourself. Oftentimes, it is just about self-awareness. We're so busy in our daily lives that we just forget about all the positive things that are happening in and all around us. Number three could also be making time for a hobby you love, purely for the joy that it brings you, not even for any feeling of productivity or how good you are at it. Doesn't even matter. It's just about how it makes you feel and its power of impacting your mood. Number three, and that one I love because it does take a little bit getting used to, but have you ever considered taking yourself out for a nice cup of coffee or a dinner, maybe a movie, and no one else is joining? You're just going in your own company. And honestly, in the beginning, it doesn't even have to be about feeling amazing with it. In the beginning, it's really just all about discovering what it makes you feel like and what it means to simply just be in your own company, giving it an effort to dress up just for yourself, and then going out by yourself deliberately, not because there was no one else that had time for you or that wanted to go to see that movie with you. You're deliberately choosing to do this by yourself and for yourself. Coming from someone who has solo traveled for years, I can assure you that learning to create moments, special moments, just for yourself, not for anyone else, is going to be a major game changer. There are loads of other ways to create rituals like that, so be creative. Maybe make a list to start off and then just pick one of these and make them a habit. Whew, very nice. Take another deep breath here, in and out through your nose. And then we already come to our last but not least practice number 5, and that one is to celebrate your effort and not your outcomes. Yes, I know I began this episode with speaking about setting goals, and yes, goals are important, but so is recognizing your dedication and your persistence and your growth, not just the success which we often define reaching the goal with. So when you finish a hard task or a larger goal that you set for yourself, take a moment to appreciate the work you put in, regardless of the results, because maybe you haven't even gotten there and you feel like you've not been successful. Perhaps, especially then, you allow yourself to sit back, take 5, and just reflect on the way that you've made. What, in fact, defined success for you? And perhaps you will find that it wasn't merely about reaching that goal, but finding something else on the way or behind that. And perhaps you will also find how immensely you have grown since you started moving towards this goal. And then celebrate yourself for the wins, for how far you've come, even in difficult times, in huge challenges, mountains that you had to move. Just celebrate yourself. Amazing. Now, if you still have a spare couple of minutes, maybe pick a song that is one of your favorites that makes you dance without thinking about it. Put it on, tune it up, and just start dancing for yourself, smiling, hugging yourself, celebrating your life, your wins, your achievements, and your being. Thank you so much for being your own cheerleader, for believing in yourself, for thinking big and rising strong. I send you all my love and light, and I can't wait to see you in our next episode. And one more thing before you head off, if you have any questions or you would like to get in touch, learn more and grow more, please send me a message on whoiam.coach. You can find me on Instagram. I would absolutely love to get to know you and work with you. So see you there.